Hi, Emerson. I'm going to give you another lesson on the letter V because the one with Darth Vader was fun, but I want to make sure that you do the lesson with your pen and paper, okay? So get yourself some lined paper and 3 lines on the top and 3 lines on the bottom. It would be great if you could buy some lined paper, and that would make it easier. And then we'll do the letter V. So, with the letter V, what you do is you start at the top line and you go on the diagonal down to the bottom, and then you go from the bottom up to the top. Kind of like a canyon. Like the Grand Canyon. Like a big... The water would be down at the bottom. If I got a blue pen, probably not. Let's do another one. Down to the bottom of the canyon and back up. Those are a couple of nice ones. The lowercase v is half the size. It starts right at the midline. Down and then up. Do a couple of more. Down and up. And then one more. How are they looking? Are your lowercase v's half the size of the capitals? They should be. Now I want us to write a word together. It's going to be a long one. This word's going to be forgiveness. It starts with an F. Forgiveness. The F starts below the midline. Below the top line, but above the midline. It's kind of halfway between, maybe, between the top and the middle. And then you go up and down like that. You see that? Then you go across and cross it at the midline. That's a nice lowercase f. Now we make the O. We start at the midline and go counterclockwise. Counterclockwise means the opposite of the direction of the hands of the clock. We go from the right to the left. So the next letter is going to be a lowercase r. Straight line down from the middle. And then we make the little hill and stop. The hill goes up to the midline. There we go. So we got the first part is 4. That's F-O-R, 4. Now, we're going to do a G for the next letter. The G starts like the letter C. We start just below the midline, go up to the midline, like that. Then we'll go back to where we started and we make the tail. Just to the midline here and then straight down. We go below the bottom line. That's the only letter that's going to go below the bottom line. I think sometimes on your letters, your G, you've not been putting it below the lower line. So sometimes only a few letters go below the bottom line, and the G is one of them. Do you see that? It goes below the bottom line. Okay, so now we're going to put in the I. We start from the middle line and go straight down. And then we make the dot above it. Okay. Now is our chance to use the V. After I, we put in our lowercase v. So we go right here, straight down to the bottom, and then back up. Nice one. And then, after that, it doesn't seem like it should be there, but we're going to put in an E. There's an E at the end of forgive. So we start halfway between the middle and the bottom line and go up to the midline and wrap it around. There. And that spells forgive. Now we're going to have to put in the ness, forgiveness. That's going to be N-E-S-S. I hope I can fit it in there. That's just forgive. Now we do an N. Straight down from the midline. And then we go back up and make the hill and down. That spells forgiven. But now we have to put the ESS on there. I think that spells forgiveness if we add ESS. Let's try it. I hope I'm right. But we're going to put in a lowercase e. Start here and up to the midline and down and wrap it. Okay. And now to complete this word, we do two S's. Now the S is one of the hardest letters to draw. We start below the midline and we come back up to the midline to the left. We go counterclockwise again. We start over here and go counterclockwise, and then we come all the way around. Do you see that? How we start going counterclockwise? We go backwards to start. We start over here. I hope I'm not going too fast. I guess you can always rewind it. We come back up to the midline going counterclockwise, and then we wrap it around. Nicely done. I hope it went well for you. I can't wait to see how it went for you to write it. So we got forgiveness. Forgiveness. Now it's time for me to do my sermon. Oh, lucky you. When you don't have the Macho Man or Darth Vader or then you get a sermon. Oh man, that's rough. Forgiveness. What does that mean? I'm going to tell you a story to explain what I think it is, because it's complicated. And I have to work at it because I have a problem. I'm not very good at forgiveness, so I have to work at this. Let's say there's a story I'm going to tell you about forgiveness. Let's say that you had a bicycle and somebody in the neighborhood over in Zdravia came to you and said, "Listen, Emerson, I have a friend who lives in Moscow and he's going to visit me this weekend. And he doesn't have a bike to ride here. Can I borrow your bike for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, so he can have a bike to ride while he's here?" And you think about it and you think, oh gosh, I don't want to give my bicycle away to some kid from Moscow. But you think, it would be a nice thing to do. So yes, I'm going to let you borrow my bike for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. On Monday morning, bring it back. And the guy says, okay. And he takes the bicycle on Saturday morning. And it's gone. And it comes Monday morning and the guy does not come with the bicycle. So you walk over to his house and you go there and you look around. There's no bike. You knock on the door. And the kid comes to the door. He kind of looks kind of quiet and sad. And you say, "I'm here to get my bicycle." And the kid says, "It's not here." And you say, "Ha, where is it?" And he says, "Well, the thing is, when my friend was here from Moscow, we sold it to somebody in Smolenskaya." Is that how I say it? For 2,000 rubles. And we took the 2,000 rubles and we spent it on junk food and candy and pizza. And we spent it all. And you say, what? Are you joking? You sold my bicycle and bought junk food? And the guy says, yeah, I did. I feel really, really bad. I'm really sorry. And you get really mad. And you walk home. You don't even know what to do. You're so mad. You gave him to borrow your bicycle and he sold it and took the money and bought junk food. Oh my God. So mad. And you think about it. And you think, what would Jesus do in this situation? And you decide to forgive the boy. What does that mean? It means he doesn't owe you a new bicycle. You say, that's it. You don't owe me a new bicycle. So he comes by a few days later and says, what do you want me to do about the bike? He says, I don't have any money to buy you a new bike. And you say, well, I decided to forgive you. You don't owe me anything. And the guy says, oh my gosh, that's so nice. And you say, well, maybe, but I was so mad. The only thing I could do was just forgive because it was bothering me so much. I decided to let it go. And so the next day you go to town, you go to Krasnodar and you buy a brand new, beautiful red bicycle. You bring it home and start riding it around Zdravia. And that kid, about a week later, sees you riding that bike. And he comes over about a week later. You love this new bike. And he says, I see you got a new bike. And you said, yeah, it's a nice bike. Real nice. I love it. And he says, well, my friend is coming again from Moscow this weekend. Can I borrow it? Uh-oh. Now, what are you going to do? He wants to borrow it again. If you forgave him, are you going to let him borrow your bicycle again? Or are you going to say no? Well, if you've forgiven that kid, you don't owe him another bicycle. He doesn't owe you a bicycle, but you don't owe him one either. Because it's done. If it's forgiven, it means it's over. But it doesn't mean that you owe him another one. And if you're smart, you'll say, no, I'm not going to give you my bicycle. And he might say, if he's not a very nice person, he might say, hey, you said that you forgave me. And you can say, well, I did forgive you. You don't owe me another bicycle. You don't owe me a new bicycle, but I don't owe you one either. It's done. We don't owe each other anything. And he might get mad and he might stomp away and never want to talk to you again, and that's okay. But just because if you've forgiven that boy, you don't owe him another one. Forgiveness means it's over. He doesn't owe you a new bike. Does that make sense? That's what I think forgiveness is. That's just my little sermon. And there is a letter V and a sermon you probably didn't want on forgiveness. And now it's done. Okay, buddy. There's the letter V. And the next letter, let's see. T-U-V-W. Ooh, I promise I won't give a sermon about the letter W. Okay, buddy. Bye-bye.